Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. It's snowing today, as you saw. I'm just doing a little skincare in preparation for the gym. My question of the day, not for y'all but for myself, is how am I getting to the gym? I don't know. Is this like too bad to walk in? Is it too bad to drive in? I just really want to go lift today because bitch, like I take the weekends off. Like Mondays are my time to go lift. My classic. It's almost Christmas and the big issue of this week is my sister was supposed to get here Saturday and her flight was canceled because of weather, and it's literally been canceled every day. Like today is Tuesday and her flight has still been canceled every day. Hopefully she's gonna come tomorrow, but I definitely feel bad for her because that's so annoying. And also just to have the expectation every day, like, oh my god, I'm gonna travel, and then you're not. So like I thought my vlog today was gonna be going to go pick her up, as I have thought it's gonna be the last few days, and yet again her flight's canceled. So but at least she's safe. Other than that, I'm really excited for the holidays. I'm really excited to give my gifts to my family and to see Sonia, who's coming back as well. I used to see her on Christmas every year, and ever since 2019, I think, like kind of like COVID, I have not seen her during the holidays. So that's gonna be really fun. And I also just haven't seen my sister in a full year since the last Christmas either. If you guys don't know, she is studying abroad and she usually comes back in the summer and also during the holidays, but she wasn't able to come back this summer because she was working. So super excited to see her as well. So yeah, this is kind of like the last week of really like grind mode. I'm just trying to get all my content, you know, planned and ready for the last 2 weeks of this year, and then also starting to plan for January. So I definitely feel like I've been busy, but like in a low-key way. I don't really know how to do my hair because it's kind of dirty, but I don't want to do like a slick bun or anything because if I put a hat on, you know. So I think I'm gonna try to do 2 braids. I kind of know how to French braid, but not that well. You know, the girls like who did soccer always knew how to French braid really good. Definitely been doing a lot of reflecting on this year and like what I liked and what I didn't like about this year. I feel like this year was like low-key hard mentally. I feel like I definitely went through a lot of changes, and I don't know, I feel like some fucked up shit happened like on a personal level. With that being said, I'm proud of myself for how I've handled certain situations. So without getting into too many details, you know, because I don't know, it's like we don't have to do all of that, but I feel like I learned a lot more about like mental health this year and personal growth. And you guys know I've talked so much in my podcast about things like setting boundaries, and I think a big lesson I learned this year, or just thing I realized, was like how connected everything is, you know. Like you can be going through one thing, like I'll just use an example for myself of like anxiety, and I just always, not like, I don't even know if I consciously thought this, but I just always thought that like anxiety was separate from like people pleasing. So it's like, oh, I'm working on these like 2 different things, like trying to get better at not people pleasing and then also trying to not have anxiety. And I think part of my huge lesson this year was like realizing, oh no, like those are actually very similarly connected things, and like every, I don't know, issue you may go through, it's just like everything's connected, you know, in your life. And to look at it from a holistic perspective in that way rather than 2 separate things that need to be worked on, that has helped a lot. People are always like, I don't have regrets. I feel like I do and I don't. I think one of my main regrets usually is not saying no more, and I feel like this year I did a really good job at saying no for the most part. Like obviously it wasn't perfect, it was definitely like the best year yet, you know, and so that gives me a lot of hope for the future and just like how I can continue to set boundaries for myself and just live out an emotionally healthy life. Hey, why did I kind of like do it though? Like it's not perfect, but like for not doing this in a while and never being really good at it in the first place, it's kind of cute. I did a Q&A on IG recently and someone asked me, are you scared to be turning 25 in 2023? And honestly, I think my answer is sincerely no. I feel like I always used to feel like what I thought was an imposter syndrome, and maybe it was to some degree, but during like my life in LA and stuff, just those like first years of adulthood, I definitely would consistently feel this feeling of like not being a real adult. And I think that was also mixed with like people pleasing and not really having like a strong sense of, I don't know, like a strong sense of self almost. So like I just usually had friends that were older than me, or I talked to guys older than me, and most of the time like I would just kind of do things like let them decide, or like I subconsciously thought that their opinion mattered more, you know, as a result of like people pleasing, and then also just feeling like, oh, they're older than me, like they know better, when in reality that wasn't the case, especially when it comes to decisions about yourself, you know? Only you know what's best for you, or like what's gonna make you the happiest or whatever. And this was really, I feel like, the first year that I did not feel that way. And like when I would go out and stuff, I felt not old, but just like mature. Like, okay, I know the ropes now. I know, I don't know what to expect. I know the game. I know, like, not like how to talk to guys as in like flirt, but just like, you just know what shit means. Like, you know, you just know more. And I don't know, maybe it's also just being like an oldest, like the oldest sibling, the oldest daughter. But it's like I find a lot of security and like I just feel better when I like know what's going on. And this was the first year I really like felt that, and I felt like all my relationships, like for the most part, reflected that more this year. Like I didn't feel that sense of like, oh my god, like they know better than me because they're older than me or whatever. So that's definitely refreshing, and it's just so crazy. You know, I've talked about this on my podcast, but how it's like, oh, a woman is only like, especially in the entertainment business, like, oh, a woman's only valuable before she's 25. Like once you turn 25, your life starts to go like downhill. Like you lose your looks, you're just no longer valuable. And it's like, bro, that's like literally the first year that your brain's fully developed and shit. And you're telling me that's when I'm no longer valuable, you know, when I have a stronger sense of self and self-worth and like all that. Oh, this side's a little more fucked up. I'm gonna redo part of this. Leonardo DiCaprio never dating a woman over 25. It's like, bro, your brain's not fully developed. Like the amount of shit that guys could get away with and just the people could get away with before, you know, my brain was developed. But it's just like so much shit you just don't know because you don't have the experience, and it's like no one really tells you certain shit. Like, yeah, there's general rules of society to follow, but like so much of shit, especially because we live in a society that doesn't really, I don't know, teach people how to deal with their emotions or teach women how to stick up for themselves. You just have to learn it through experience, hopefully, you know, and most people don't even do that. So I'm glad to just like have knowledge. And you know, that lie detector video with Courtney and Chloe, and Courtney was like, no, I'm proud of the year I was born, like I'm proud of my age because each year comes with wisdom and lessons and like experience, and I just think that's so true. Obviously I'm not in my 40s, but, and I don't think they meant it to be malicious or anything. Like I did not get that vibe, but even just the fact that someone has to ask like, oh, are you scared to turn 25? And again, like, not that I think they were asking it in like a rude way or whatever, but it's just, it goes to show that that is like a thought that exists in our society, like that would even be a possibility, you know, that someone would feel scared to turn a certain age. So yeah, like obviously sometimes when I think on certain memories and stuff, I do have regrets of like, oh, I wish I had known like what to do in that situation. I wish I knew that I could have said no to that person, or could have put myself first. You just have to kind of accept the reality, you know, of the society we live in, and like just the fact that you don't really know, you're not born knowing everything, you know, especially in a society that does not really promote certain skills or value mental health truly, you know. If they did, like if we did, we'd be living in a lot different world. So yeah, I think it's really cool that you guys are able to be like on this journey with me, but like grow up with me in a sense. I know so many of you have followed me for so long, like some of you even since the American Girl days, which was literally when I was in elementary school. This is kind of cute, like, and like that's kind of messy because then I can like put a hat on or something if I have to. Anyway, so that's just kind of some early morning caffeinated thoughts. The number one thing to remember, something I've been reminding myself of recently, is like it's possible to heal and like feel good. And more specifically, it's possible to, especially with anxiety and shit and just feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, either in something personal in your life or just by the fucking world, reminding yourself that it's possible to bring yourself back to peace and clarity. And like doing yoga has helped me with that so much, because it's a way to just regulate your nervous system and calm your mind and your body and make yourself feel good just by yourself, you know, and your breath, and just believing that you can. And it's not some like magical thing, you know, it's like something that actually physically, psychologically works. This year I definitely felt a lot of anxiety, and like I just feel like I had a lot of shit come up. I feel like just, you know, the pandemic really brought on a lot of that, and a lot of it's like kind of coming up now, as well as just like growing up and again my brain maturing and all that. I've been able to work through a lot of shit this year, and for that I'm grateful. And I think also just reminding myself that the only way out you know, of healing or of a dark place or whatever is like through it. You know, you can only avoid something for so long. It's always going to catch up with you, and that goes for anything. You can only like temporarily numb yourself for so long, whether that's through scrolling, whether that's through video games, alcohol, whatever. So just learning how to regulate your body and your mind is really just so important. Anyway, I'm just gonna go eat something, but feeling snatched. Gonna do some upper body today if I can fucking get to the gym. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on any of that, or if you relate, but just wanted to share. Who remembers my 2017 Vlogmas when it was like filmed on my iPhone, and every morning I would just like talk while I drank my coffee, and that was like basically the whole vlog. And you guys ate that shit up. Like, why did everyone love that so much? Did we bring it back? Well, the gym is closed due to snow, so you have to pull a 2020.
Going to get Mare.
Yep, we're going to pick up my sister from the airport, and her flight has been delayed, or canceled should I say, for like 3-4 days. But now we're going to get her, even though it snowed so much. Wish us luck. We had to do a Target haul. Did not find what we were looking for, but we did find these. They're really good. My dad's never tried them, so we're gonna do a taste test. Strawberry vanilla.
Cherry cola.
I'm kind of overhyped it. It's not as good as I remember, but it's like pretty good. Prebiotics, botanicals.
I don't know if I need probiotics, really.
It's prebiotics.
Do you want this? Maybe.
Let's try a peach ring.
Okay, I'm gonna move, so let's